Welcome back, Layer X Bulls. Today for you, I've got the recording of the TKAI AMA that took place on a Twitter live space. We had 4 separate members from across the Layer X team, and they addressed some of the most frequently asked questions since the announcement of the TKAI token and how it relates to the Layer X ecosystem as a whole, including Bepro Network and TAIKAI. There were some really interesting and exciting questions answered in this AMA, including information on potential TKAI rewards for Bepro Network participants. Following the questions, I'm going to give you my opinions on the answers given by the team members. So without further ado, let's get this TKAI AMA on the road.
So welcome everyone to this TAIKAI AMA session. Last week we announced the new TAIKAI Garden and the revamped TKAI token. And so today we want to go over some of these topics and help clarify what this will mean to the Layer X community. So today I'm joined here by Marty Walsh, our co-founder and CEO of Layer X, Henrique Macedo, VP of Engineering, and also Tiago Silva, which is our token engineer. So welcome, guys.
Hey everyone.
Glad to be here. Hey everyone.
Hello everyone.
All right, so let's kick it off. First question that we have collected from our community. What inspired TAIKAI to develop the TAIKAI Garden, and what impact you hope it will have on the innovation community? So, I don't know, Mari, you want to take it?
Sure. Yeah, so basically, this whole idea is the context behind. So even before we acquired Bepro Network, we were thinking of ways of increasing the utility of one of our products, of the TAIKAI products. So TAIKAI, as you know, is a hackathon platform, but by being a hackathon platform, we saw that many projects throughout the hackathon or at the end of the hackathon didn't have the necessary tools and means to actually turn themselves into projects or startups. So this was our initial idea of the TKAI Garden. We had this in the drawer already for some time now, and we feel like this is the time. So our community has been growing inside the TKAI product. We have many hackathons going on in the platform. We have many hackers competing for those hackathons. Those hackers are already being rewarded in the TKAI token for some time now. So this is for us the natural step. So just to give a little brief, TKAI Garden is basically a way for individuals and projects to showcase their skills, to connect with other people, to find mentors that can help them out throughout their project creation, and eventually access to funding for their projects. So as you can see, this is an evolution of the original idea of TAIKAI, and also people don't have to showcase their projects that are built just on top of a hackathon, but that can be outside of a hackathon. So everyone can come to the TKAI Garden, start to create projects, and showcase them and actually gain exposure from this new way of building projects. So this is just in a nutshell what we're doing. We hope that this inspires a new generation of creators, innovators, and helps to democratize the access to funding, to resources, to tools for these cool projects.
So, fantastic. Since the inception of TAIKAI in 2019, the Layer X team have noticed the extreme success and adoption of the TAIKAI product itself for the use of hackathons and to spur innovation within projects and organizations. But over the years, they've noticed the tools needed for these ideas and projects born out of a hackathon, these tools that are needed to grow these projects and ideas into a fully fledged product aren't quite there. And with the evolution of TKAI, they want to ensure that the TAIKAI platform, the TAIKAI Garden, is the place to go to spur innovation and to get exposure for these new ideas that are born out of the hackathons coming from the TAIKAI product itself. So, users of the TAIKAI product will not need to go anywhere else to continue the development of their idea born out of a hackathon, because the tools needed to do so to gain exposure to other groups of developers or project leaders are all found within the TAIKAI Garden itself. This is key for the retention of the users of the TAIKAI product, ensuring that people stay within the LayerX ecosystem itself. And this is one of the most important things for the success of the other products found within the LayerX ecosystem, because the more successful one product is within the LayerX ecosystem, the more successful the other products have the chance to be. There are more clients, there are more users, and the ability to transition these ideas from the hackathons from a user of TKAI to a user of BEPRO grows exponentially the larger the project gets.
Awesome. Thank you, Mario. And also another question that we've been gathering is regarding the technical aspects of the TAIKAI Garden. So could you just briefly explain how does the TAIKAI Garden utilizes the new Web3 tech?
Sure. So again, this is all an evolution of the original product. So we started by having a platform that had some Web3 features involved. We've now matured the product, and it's possible to connect with your Web3 wallet. You're getting the TKAI rewards also in the form of token or cryptocurrency. So this evolution to the TAIKAI, technically speaking, is essentially the roadmap that we've been building so far. So the idea is most of the mechanisms that you will find in the garden, you will be using your wallet, which is something that users are start doing at the platform already, and use the TKAI that you've earned to interact with the smart contract. So the token can be used as the main vehicle to mediate the interactions of this social innovation. It can be used for locking, it can be used for staking, it can be used for creation. So what we're doing is, as we build the original product, our user interface will absorb most of the realities I've just described here, without losing the user experience we have been focusing on at the moment. So essentially, the product, as you see it, and you interact with the product, it's very user-friendly. It doesn't have any that typically Web3 projects have. So we want to maintain that, and interaction with blockchain will be done on the back end. And if you're more curious or you can actually see these aspects happening.
Now, if that statement doesn't get you excited, I feel like you're missing some very important prior context. So, if you look at the client list from TAIKAI, you will see that they have a vast array of very large institutions and enterprises found within the traditional Web2 world. Mario stated that with the evolution of TKAI, transitioning the TAIKAI token into a fully fledged cryptocurrency token, the users of TAIKAI do not even need to know that they are using blockchain or cryptocurrency whilst on the platform. The UX is designed in a way all of the blockchain aspects of the product is done behind closed doors, so you don't even see that they are happening. This is very, very important for the onboarding of traditional Web2 companies, because the vast majority of them are still very apprehensive of using blockchain and cryptocurrency because of the barrier to entry there is in order to actually understand what's going on. TAIKAI removes this barrier to entry and allows for the onboarding of traditional clients into the blockchain world. But Mario did cut out towards the end, but I believe he was saying if you are interested, you are able to enable the option to see all the back-end stuff that is going on with the TKAI token. So these gigantic traditional Web2 enterprises will be able to familiarize themselves with the TAIKAI product, and once they have a firm grip over what it does and how to use it, they can start enabling these other options to see just how these TKAI tokens are working and how they can truly leverage the power of cryptocurrency and blockchain. This, in turn, will hopefully make them more accepting of using blockchain-based programs. For me, this would be an amazing development to implement within the Bepro Network protocol. If these giant institutional Web2 players will be able to use the Bepro Network protocol without even needing to know about the fact that they are using the Bepro tokens, this could be crazy for adoption within the traditional space.
Perfect. Thank you so much. We do have one more question regarding the process. I think Thiago might be the right person to answer for this one. So the question is, what was the thought process behind designing the TKAI token and its various utilities within TAIKAI Garden?
Thanks, Carlos. Hello, everyone. So it was quite clear to me from the beginning. So taking from what Mario said, the biggest problems that currently founders and hackathoners face is having the access to resources right after the short-term event that a hackathon is. Usually these resources are concentrated in an event of a few days, 2-3 days, and after that, that access is instantly lost. And even if founders want to extend their product or develop it in the future, they usually have two routes. They usually either go to a VC to have access to funding and mentorship. However, that usually has a great barrier of entry, since most VCs have 1,000 applicants per year and only less than 1% is actually accepted. And even those 1% that are accepted have like a rate of failure between 30 and 50%. So the odds and the cost of actually getting into VC is quite high for a project that doesn't really have, that hasn't yet validated its product market fit, and it has not extended yet far from a hackathon. Another route that they do have is, for example, accessing a crowdfunding platform. They are usually dependent on donations from curators of the platform, and they reward the users from the perks. They either get, for example, an MVP for the product, or they have private access to the development. But even then, we find that these extrinsic motivations are not enough to incentivize the users to provide valuable feedback or to maintain them in the platform, essentially to create attraction and retention. So given this, we decided that creating a tokenized ecosystem could solve many of these issues. Because, well, first of all, a tokenized ecosystem is in the blockchain. So it becomes verifiable what the decisions are made. It is transparent since everyone can view it. And mostly because now the founders are not dependent on others in order to become to have access to these fundings. They can, first of all, they can publish the project in the tokenized platform, and then the users themselves are incentivized by our flywheel in order to provide the most valuable take that they can provide. And the token here, the TKAI token, what it will do, it will serve as a vehicle to capture the value that these creators and founders are giving to the platform itself. And yeah, we believe that this utility can vary from locking the token in order to shrink the supply and circulation. We believe that taking on projects in order to provide curation is a process that, first of all, reduces the cost in order to have valuable contributions, and the reward that we want to give in order to to guarantee that these contributions will be fair and will be valuable is another cost that these projects will have to take into consideration when doing so. So summarizing all of this, we want to decrease the costs of the projects for access these resources. We want to give them more access. We want to have a highly curated and incentivized community. And of course, we want to build their TAIKAI reputation in the market as the main platform to build projects.
So, from my understanding of Thiago's answer, it's very, very difficult for projects in the very, very early stages of their product life in order to get funding from outside investors in order to get the project off the ground. VC funding seems like a complete no-no for these smaller ideas and smaller teams, and the tools that are out there for these projects and teams are very limited in their scope. The TAIKAI product, alongside utilizing the power of TKAI tokens, will foster innovation for these ideas, allowing them to transition into fully fledged projects and products. The users of the TAIKAI platform will be able to accrue value by participating in these hackathons and helping mentor these other up-and-coming projects in the TAIKAI Garden. And then this value can be placed back into the TAIKAI platform via the TKAI tokens themselves as a medium of exchange or as used as curation on the platform to help point out these up-and-coming projects that will in turn provide more value to the TAIKAI product, thus creating a feedback loop of innovation and growth for the TAIKAI product itself. And like I said before, remember, growth in one area of Layer X is indirect growth in another.
And taking on the project itself, we do have another great question from our community. So how does TAIKAI ensure the quality of the projects that are curated and funded through the platform? And what kind of projects can be considered like most relevant or impactful? So Enrique, do you want to take this one?
Yeah, sure. So since the early days of TAIKAI, from the first hackathon to today, we have a lot of projects, a lot of projects. You can imagine the number of projects that have been created since 2019 until now. And today, like Marius said, looking at this history, we can see that we have great projects that can have a life beyond the hackathon. But this will involve a strict curation process to ensure that only high quality and only the impactful projects are featured on the platform. And this process includes thoroughly vetting each project submission, including its feasibility, relevance, and potential impact. And we also consider the track record and reputation of the project teams, of the users as well, and their alignment with TAIKAI mission and TAIKAI values. And with that, our goal is to foster innovation in areas that are most relevant to our community, including blockchain, AI, social impact, and others.
So this is exactly what I like to hear. Over the many, many years of the TAIKAI product lifespan, they have had countless project submissions from teams attending these hackathons, and many of them are worthy enough to transition into a fully fledged product. By taking these ideas from these hackathons and embedding them and taking them into the innovation sandbox, using the TAIKAI platform as the tool to foster the innovation to take these projects to the next step, evolving them into a fully autonomous project, they are then able to be transitioned into the other products within the Layer X ecosystem. Once again, growing the overall reach of the Layer X ecosystem and growing the exposure for the other products found within the Layer X ecosystem, those being Bepro Network, TKAI and BEPRO. They have a vast experience of judging these products. They have a keen eye for potential in the space, and they have a good idea of what will work and what will not.
Next question. I believe this one is from Constar. Constar asked, what do your traditional Web2 based clients think about having to use crypto in order to interact with the TAIKAI product?
Yeah, this is actually a pretty interesting question because as I told in the beginning, we built the product with a UX that in some cases abstracts from the fact that we use the crypto token. So these traditional Web2 clients that we had in the past, such as the European Commission, TikTok US, Nissan, Pfizer, so all of these big and traditional Web2 clients don't yet understand how to use crypto, or the ones that do sometimes might be afraid to actually interact directly with this. So what you typically have in the market is a mid-layer that helps them do that. We actually don't need that because we built a product in such a user-friendly way that for them it's really interesting to see the usage. So they don't have to interact with crypto to launch a hackathon with us, although they know and they recognize the advantages of having the TKAI tokens to be awarded for the community and how it can be a game changer in the innovation landscape. Just to give out some example, and this is very recent, we had a Paris University visiting the house, our Web3 hub in Porto, last week. And once we explained what the TKAI economy was and what the TAIKAI Garden was, they were crazy. They were like, man, this is the gap that we needed between universities and big institutional players. So for us, this is very good positive, and we can see that it actually makes sense. So what we're building is something that actually feels great to know that we are providing these companies their first Web3 experience and interaction with the blockchain without the typical hurdles that they would have to go through.
Perfect. I couldn't have asked for a more reassuring answer. Like we stated earlier on in the video, the TAIKAI product is made in a way that the users of the hackathons within the TAIKAI platform don't even know that they're using crypto. This is the perfect way to ensure that we still are able to bridge the gap between Web 2 and Web 3 for these large institutional players. And hearing such positive words from the Paris University just confirms that you guys are on the right track, because if the exact target market of a product like TAIKAI are coming to you and telling you that what you're doing is great and they are very excited to use a platform like this, really does assure you that you're doing the right thing and you're moving the right way. It would be fantastic to see the TAIKAI product as a tool used to bridge up-and-coming developers and entrepreneurs from universities into the development world.
Another question that we have, and this one is more related to the TKAI token, is regarding its distribution. So what is the initial distribution of TKAIs, and if there is a maximum supply of TKAIs in the market?
So first of all, TKAI will have a total supply of 300 million tokens. And we assess this number as being a trade-off between having the token as a store of value and the unit of exchange. The range between the token supply can vary. It is okay between a certain range, but we believe that 300 million is the optimal one for this early stage. Regarding the distribution, we have approximately 60% that are going to be distributed as rewards. 20% of these 60% are going to be directed to hackathon participants, such as hackers, mentors, and advisors. And this is a way to achieve early adopters to our platform. We want to incentivize users not only to continue the project, but also to continue interacting with TAIKAI in the form of TAIKAI Garden. The other 40% of these 60%, they are the core feature of the TAIKAI Garden, which is regarding innovation farming, which consists as the rewards that we distributed among projects and creators. So this portion is solely allocated towards the TAIKAI Garden use case. The other 25% of the supply will be distributed to the team, advisors, and equity partners in order to assure long-term sustainability of the project. We want to be able also to have a say in the platform. 5% will be towards liquidity provision in centralized exchanges or centralized exchanges. And the other 10% will be allocated towards hacker external communities, which is essentially a marketing strategy to also incentivize the usage of this token. Regarding the vesting schedule, we are going to do this over a period of 120 months. We want to do a long-term plan because we want to assure long-term commitment from the users. Although we will try over the course of the next 3 years, try to distribute over 50% of the tokens in a way that it matches the rate of usage in the platform.
So, one of the most important things that I think you need to take away from what our friend Tiago just said then was the fact the full token supply will not be unlocked for 120 months. That is a very, very long-term plan, and this goes to show that the LayerX team is committed to the long-term growth and the sustainable growth of the TAIKAI platform as a product, and they're not just trying to create something that will blow up in hype and then quickly die soon thereafter after a few years of usage. This is great news for the LayerX ecosystem and all the products found within the LayerX ecosystem as a whole, because this shows they have a very long-term vision for the ecosystem, and you can be rest assured that they think the exact same way about our beloved Bepro Network.
Next question is from Paulie B. How will delegation work for locked tokens on the network? Will we get TKAI now or a mix?
I believe that the question from Polly might be also associated with Bepro Network. So I believe that's what he means by network. So just trying to give a brief context. If you lock tokens on the TAIKAI product, what happens is you will get TKAI. So TKAI is the main utility token for the TAIKAI product. So that's the token that will be used under that product. If you lock tokens on Bepro Network, you will get Bepro tokens. That's how it works. We're keeping both products and tokens separate, but as I said before, what we want to build on top of this is to have what we call network effects over the two. So picking up on that, if you lock Bepro tokens on the Bepro protocol, we will have a portion of rewards that will be distributed to the Bepro users on TKAI. So you can consider it as a reward that we're doing for the hacker communities, as Thiago was mentioning. And within those hacker communities, we've decided to allocate the majority of rewards to the Bepro users, because we also believe that those are the ones that we should cherish the most and keep them engaged into using both products. So in a nutshell, and I know that I'm deviating a little bit from the question, I feel like we should now start to consider that Layer X as three main products, and within three main products, each one of them might or might not have their own token. In case of that kit, it doesn't make sense to have a token, but in the case of TAIKAI and BEPRO, it does. So within that, you should always consider of being a part of an overall community that benefits from both tokens, and that's exactly what we want for the community to be able to get both, depending on the interaction they do with both products.
Now, I'm sure many of you will be excited to hear what Mario just stated then, that the majority of the supply allocated to hacker external communities of TKAI has been allocated to the Bepro Network protocol participants, which is absolutely fantastic to hear. I think we can all celebrate together that as users of the Bepro Network protocol, that Layer X has rewarded us with some of this TKAI tokens to their most loyal community, and that hopefully, while you are rewarded these TKAI tokens, it will make you want to go on to the TAIKAI platform. I think this shows commitment. Both tokens found within the Layer X ecosystem, Bepro and TKAI. Layer X wants to assure you that the focus is not being missed between the two products, and that they are simply very, very complementary products. I would hope, as viewers of the channel, that you have all of your Bepro tokens already staked and delegated within the Bepro Network protocol. If you haven't already, get it done. But if you have, we can expect some sweet, sweet TKAI rewards in the future. I know many of you had questions or wondering how to get some of these TKAI tokens. Well, here you are. Just be a loyal member of the Bepro Network community. Nice one, Bepro Bulls.
And the next question is from Constar, again, I believe. And he asks how, if we can explain to the listeners why TKAI and BEPRO are not competing tokens.
So as I mentioned before, TKAI is going to be used inside the TAIKAI Garden. So the TAIKAI Garden is a very specific product within the TAIKAI platform, and what we want to achieve that is social interaction and innovation. So the idea for TAIKAI is to evolve from a hackathon platform into an innovation social network. So in this case, the TKAI token is going to serve a very specific utility, which is to mediate social interactions inside the TAIKAI products. BEPRO, on the other hand, as you know, has a completely different utility. So BEPRO has the utility of using the protocol Bepro Network. So if you want to create your own bounty network, you have to stake BEPRO, and a part of that also goes into the treasury. So that's also how we make money. If you want to be a curator inside the BEPRO protocol, you need to stake tokens, and only by staking tokens, you're able to access votes of curation inside a protocol. That's how it works. And we're going to think of many other ways to still provide utility for the Bepro Network product. So again, there are two answers to this question. One is that the tokens are completely different and serve a completely different purpose and utility inside each product. The other answer that I want you to focus on is that all of these products are part of the same ecosystem, which is Layer X. So although we are focusing on the TKAI tokenomics for this AMA and for the tokenomics that have been released, we will not forget the BEPRO token. So the BEPRO token serves a very specific utility, and we want for it to continue to be that way. So we will not diminish any of the products or any of the tokens. In fact, they will be complementary to each other.
This was a question that came up very frequently with the Bepro Network community. At a first glance, some people believed the TKAI and BEPRO token were competing for clients, and by launching the TKAI token, that they were going to be taking users away from the Bepro Network product. However, this is not the case. Like Mario just stated then, the problems that the TAIKAI product solves and the problems that the Bepro Network product solves are very, very different. Think of it like this. The TAIKAI product was not taking any clients away from Bepro Network before, so why would it now? They both do very different things. However, they both exist in very similar spaces. It just so happens that users of one product, like TAIKAI, will often see benefit of using the Bepro Network product at a later stage, and vice versa. Products that use the Bepro Network platform to launch their own bounty networks, they too may benefit from using the Innovation Garden or a hackathon found on the TAIKAI platform. They are very complementary products, and we have to remember that it's the Layer X ecosystem. All of these products are embedded within one another. We will see cross-innovation between all of these products. So, I will drill it home again. Growth in one area of Layer X is indirectly growth in another. More clients in one product means far more potential clients in another.
And moving on to another one, which is a really good question. Will the Bepro network as a product be used by users of the Innovation Sandbox? So will these two products interact? So Innovation Sandbox and Bepro network?
So basically, as I mentioned, these are very separate products, Bepro network and TAIKAI. So although they are separate products, that doesn't mean that there can be some intersections. So on one side, and I know this doesn't address the question, but I think it's relevant to say, inside the Bepro network products, the projects that are created within the Innovation Sandbox can launch bounties on Bepro network, and that is part of our roadmap as well. But before that, and this is, I would say, what actually answers the question, is this is a roadmap of innovation. So you start with a hackathon. With a hackathon, you get your first team or MVP, but that MVP is still not ready, one, to go public and seek for funding, two, to attract users, three, to launch bounties. So what we're doing is creating that second layer where projects can go from MVP into actual startup. And once they are a startup, well, I know that when they are going to seek bounties, they're probably going to look for Bepro network, right? So it's within our realm of products, and that's what we want to focus on. So Constar, I hope that this answers to this question. I prefer to to give a more complete answer to it.
Well, Mario, that's more than answered my question. This is perhaps my favourite part of this AMA, that LayerX is planning on implementing the ability for the projects found within the Innovation Sandbox on the TAIKAI product to be able to launch bounties on the Bepro Network product. This is exactly what I wanted to hear. Whilst the products are very, very different and serve different uses, they are still embedded within one another. This is music to my ears. If that doesn't assure you that TKAI and BEPRO are here to stay, and together they are going to be an unstoppable force in the Web 2 and Web 3 world, then I don't know what will. Like Mario stated, they will need to go nowhere else to build a project from just a concept thought up between a bunch of hackers at a hackathon to a fully fledged company with a working product. All they need to go to is the LayerX ecosystem. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what LayerX is doing for our beloved BEPRO. They are truly taking this ecosystem to the next step.
Moving on, one very important question. This one comes from Galia, and it is, where can I buy TKAIs?
Unfortunately, at the moment, you cannot. So at the moment, the only way to get TKAIs is actually through rewards. So either hackathon rewards, so by participating in a hackathon inside the TAIKAI product, or as I mentioned, by being a part of these hacker communities. So by being a part of the Bepro Network product, and by being a part of other communities that we will partner with in the upcoming months. So this is what can happen at the moment. However, of course, we have plans to list TKAI in the near future because we also want our users to be able to get liquidity from that token. So as you can imagine, and as Enrique mentioned, the product is online since 2019. We have a lot of projects that have been part of our ecosystem. And some of these projects and some of these teams have been collecting tokens since. So for them, I think it will be very useful to actually be able to trade TKAI tokens and for other people also to get involved and to buy TKAI tokens as well. And with the TAIKAI Garden, you'll also be able to earn TKAI by creating projects or by staking your tokens. So this is also something that will be possible in the future. Nonetheless, I would just like to leave you with this. We're not using TKAI tokenomics or this that we're discussing right here to make a financial play. So we're not at the moment selling our tokens either privately or publicly. So this is an evolutional step of the product. So once the listing goes live, it will be available for all without making preferences on VCs or other types of institutional investors. Because again, this is a social token, so it makes sense for more users and more people to get hands on this token.
I hope that addresses any concerns you may have had about the TKAI token as a form of liquidity for the LayerX team. Die-hard fans of Bepro Network and the LayerX ecosystem know that this was not the case, and this was not the reason behind the play of the TKAI token. But if, like we said before, if you're not already a user of the TKAI product attending these hackathons, we better become an active player within the Bepro Network protocol by at least locking, staking, and delegating our Bepro tokens so we can get our hands on some of this sweet TKAI.
Next question that we have is regarding the mechanism itself of the TAIKAI Garden. And the question is, what is the proof of curated innovation?
So by leveraging the TKAI token, users can provide curation, access funding, pay for services, and connect with other users. And with the token as its vehicle, the proof of curated innovation is composed of three main things. The first one is the innovation farming that rewards allocation to the project. The second one is the innovation curation. That is the process of curating and selecting high quality and promising projects. And the last one is the innovation sandbox. That is the space where each project publishes its development, their progress, and where they can interact with the community. And the proof of curated innovation is this.
If you'd like to learn more about the revolutionary system that the TKAI token is run on, the proof of curated innovation system, if you like the sound of that revolutionary concept of the proof of curated innovation, then I'll leave a link to my previous video alongside an article that goes far more in depth around this system and how it actually comes into play in relation to the growth of the TKAI token.
Moving on, we have another question. What stepstones do you want to achieve in order to launch the TKAI Garden?
Yeah, so our current plan, we already accomplished, was to launch the white paper for the V1 tokenomics. We wanted to give out an overview over what we want to achieve, how this extends over the TAIKAI product is, and how we can align the incentives over several stakeholders such as founders, creators, mentors. That was the first plan and the first goal, and we already achieved it. Over the next few months, we want to do research and build the platform itself. We want to research, build models, and effectively optimize the incentive mechanism proof of curated innovation. We want it to be we want to be without attack vectors. We want to be resistant to stable attacks. We don't want people to collude between each other in order to avoid robot distribution over these malicious actors. And so there is an ongoing work to be done over the third quarter this year. And then on the fourth quarter, after this research and development, we are going to launch a white paper, which is going to be the assessment of the work that we've done so far from today until then. And it will contain all the analysis that we have done. It's going to contain as well probably some mutations over proof of curated innovation, some rules that we are going to implement in the ecosystem as well. And this is going to be a low-level overview over what we are building. We want people, if they want to go in depth over TKAI Garden, we want to give them a resource that they can read through, they can analyze, and they can take their own conclusions. Then we want to launch effectively the TKAI Garden. We are currently planning to do this on the first quarter next year, 2024. We want to build a better product for first users, either from hackathons or hacker external communities to join up. We haven't planned that we are going to invite them for a first few tests or not, but it is programmed to be launched around these dates. Regarding the distribution ways as well, we are going to start distributing the tokens around the first quarter as well. The second distribution around the second quarter. And this is, as I said, to incentivize the early participation to the beta version of the platform.
So it's nice to know that the information that has been given to us is in the form of a light paper and that they are not rushing to get this TKAI token out, and they really want to make sure that they can gather as much data and as much feedback as they need before the launch of the TKAI token and the TAIKAI Garden itself next year. Us, as Layer X community members, already know just how thorough and professional the Layer X team likes to act in terms of product development, and you can be rest assured that the Layer X team will cut no corners in order to provide the most professional and high quality product possible.
One last question that we have here is how does TAIKAI plan to achieve sustainable growth and long-term success, and what is the roadmap for development and expansion in the coming years?
So basically, guys, the goal here is, of course, to achieve sustainable growth and long-term success. So our plan by building this is not just by creating a quick product that will die in a few years' time. Actually, TAIKAI is already in the market since 2019, and we've already built traction and a reputation over the market. So we want to continue that journey by fostering an engaging and vibrant community. that is truly committed to the success of the platform. But to achieve this, we need to keep expanding our user base by offering new features and services that are relevant for them, and hence also the TAIKAI Garden. We need to continue to bring many partners and companies using the platform. So as you can see, we've built a very interesting track record in terms of ETH events and other Web3 hackathons going on in the space. And we want to continue that journey because it's through that we can amplify our impact. And in the upcoming years, we believe that this will become the main reference inside the innovation ecosystem. So as you can see, this all culminates into building a successful product, iterating that product, and we will keep doing the same for the other products inside the Layer X ecosystem. And if we actually, and now taking this broadly, if we become a reference in the innovation and the future of work ecosystem, then we know that any of the projects inside the Layer X portfolio will succeed. And that is our mission. And that is why we have been so committed into making these effective partnerships going on, not just in the TAIKAI product, but also in the BEPRO product. That's why we've been doing workshops for DAppKits throughout the country. And we're going to continue to do so. And for us, there are no shortcuts. For us, the only solution to actually achieve sustainable growth is to keep working and keep showing the results. And that's what we believe that this new transformation of the TAIKAI Garden will also bring to the TAIKAI product.
Guys, how have we managed to find a team like Layer X? If you look at the things they have been able to achieve over the past years, both with the TKAI product and the Bepro Network product, the partnerships and business associates they've been able to accrue over the years has been absolutely crazy. Like Mario stated, if they are able to be at the forefront of innovation and to become the standard of the future of work, then I believe the term too big to fail comes into play. The idea is to be so big, so well respected and so utilized within the space that any new product or any new development within the already established product in the Layer X ecosystem will be adopted almost instantaneously by the clients found within the Layer X ecosystem, therefore exponentially growing the client base for all products found within the Layer X ecosystem. Bepro Network, TKAI and DAppKit. So what are my overall thoughts on this TKAI AMA? Well, I feel like after being given vast and promising information and answers by the team, I feel like it would be very hard for you to argue that the launch of the TKAI token and the evolution of the TKAI product is anything but good for the Layer X ecosystem. I challenge you to give me a compelling argument on how the expansion of the TKAI product does not indirectly correlate with the growth potential of Bepro Network. By using the TKAI platform and leveraging the power of the TKAI token, there will be far more products and projects born of the innovation sandbox that will be eligible to use the Bepro Network platform. And without this initial funding or growth from the TKAI product, these products and projects would not be using the Bepro Network product in the first place. The TKAI platform is simply providing so much opportunity for the Layer X ecosystem, and I really cannot wait to see a project born from one of these hackathons start to use the Bepro Network product. Users of the Innovation Sandbox using the Bepro Network platform to launch their bounties from the TKAI product is completely crazy. Like we stated before, how DAppKit features are developed and implemented through the Bepro Network protocol, and these two products are interlinked. Now, the TKAI product and the Bepro Network product will be interlinked while still remaining very individual products. Layer X is creating a first of its kind ecosystem. And I would like to congratulate you all for being so early on this opportunity with me. And I'm glad to have you all here for the ride. It will be interesting to see just how far the ecosystem has come in the upcoming 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, and who knows, maybe even longer. If you are interested in the Layer X ecosystem, if you are an investor in the BEPRO token or a user of the TAIKAI platform, make sure you follow the channel because you will find the most up-to-date and accurate information about all of the announcements and developments with regards to the Layer X ecosystem as a whole. And I hope you're all as excited for the TKAI tokens as I am. And with that, I'll see you in the next one, Layer X Bulls.